My brother asked me to be his best man. Then I discovered he was marrying the woman who ruined my life. When Garrett called with the news, I was genuinely happy for him. At 32, he'd finally found someone who made him smile again. Her name's Quinn, he said, practically glowing. You're going to love her. She's a pediatric nurse, volunteers at the animal shelter. I agreed to meet them for dinner that weekend. The moment she walked into the restaurant, my blood turned to ice. Same auburn hair, same green eyes, same smile that had fooled everyone 15 years ago. Quinn Holloway, the guidance counselor who destroyed my senior year. She recognized me instantly, but played it perfectly. So nice to finally meet Garrett's little brother, she said, extending her hand like we were strangers. My brother beamed as she told charming stories about her work. She asked about my job, my life, as if she hadn't been the reason I'd attempted suicide at 17. That night, I lay awake remembering how she'd started with innocent compliments about my poetry, how our tutoring sessions became something else, how she'd convinced me it was love, that we had to keep it secret, how she'd ended it when the principal started asking questions, claiming I'd been harassing her, how she'd shown them my love letters as evidence, how I'd been expelled while she kept her job. I'd never told anyone the truth. For 3 weeks, I watched them together. Garrett was completely smitten. Quinn played the devoted fiancé while sending me subtle messages, knowing looks, brushing past me to whisper, "You always were my favorite student." She was enjoying this. I pulled my brother aside during bachelor party planning. "Are you sure about Quinn?" "Absolutely," he said. "Why? Don't you like her?" I couldn't destroy his happiness without proof. That's when I remembered Detective Morrison, the officer who'd investigated my suicide attempt. He'd said if I ever needed help to call. "Long shot," he said when I explained, "but let me make some calls." 2 days later, he called back. 3 complaints filed against Quinn Holloway, all from teenage boys, all buried by the school district. She resigned quietly each time, moved districts. My hands shook as he read the details. Same pattern every time. One father kept copies of everything, Morrison continued. He's willing to meet. I drove 4 hours to meet Trevor Michaels. His son Danny had been Quinn's victim 8 years ago. She destroyed him, Trevor said, sliding a thick folder across the table. Convinced him they were in love. When he threatened to tell his parents, she claimed he'd assaulted her. Inside were photos, messages, witness statements, everything the school had refused to investigate. "I've been waiting for someone like you," Trevor said. "Someone who could finally stop her." The wedding was in 5 days. I made copies of everything and invited Quinn for coffee. "Nervous about the big day?" I asked. "Should I be?" She replied with that same predatory smile. I placed the folder on the table between us. "Depends on whether you plan to hurt my brother." Her face went white as she flipped through the pages. "These are lies," she whispered. "Funny, that's what you said about my letters." She tried to grab the folder, but I'd anticipated that. "Here's what's going to happen," I said calmly. "You're going to end this engagement. Tell Garrett you're not ready, need time, whatever, but you're going to disappear from his life." "Or what?" she sneered. "Or I show him everything, along with the police, the nursing board, and every parent in your current district." She stared at me with pure hatred. "You were 17, a minor. He'll never forgive you for not telling him." "Maybe," I said, "but I'll survive losing his trust. Will you survive losing your career, your freedom?" That night, she called Garrett. Sudden cold feet, needed space, so sorry. My brother was devastated. I held him while he cried, knowing I'd chosen his future over his temporary happiness. 6 months later, Quinn was arrested. Another boy had come forward. Garrett still doesn't know the whole truth, but last week, he thanked me for being the best brother he could ask for. Sometimes protecting the people you love means carrying their pain so they don't have to.